So Miami answered our question, or answered my question this weekend. Because leading up to the game against New England, the question was, what is the issue with this Miami team? How is it that we see all these other clubs like Atlanta, Nashville, Orlando, Austin, how are they getting it together? How is it taking clubs like Seattle and LAFC a few amount of years to really start competing well? And then you look at Miami, it's like, what is going on with y'all? What is the issue? Was there a cancer? Was it due to coaching? Was it due to management? What was the issue? But this past Saturday, they told us, they revealed it to us. And the issue has been old man Gonzalo. Listen, I have never seen the play. Within my 2 years of watching MLS, I've never seen the play of a team change so drastically because they're missing just one guy. And their play changing drastically in a positive way because one guy is not there. So now we know what the issue is. Now we know what the real problem is. The problem is not David Beckham. The problem is not the GM. The problem is not the head coach. The problem is not the players. The problem is one player, and his name is Old Man Gonzalo. The guy that they were saying might retire the guy that said will retire at the end of the season, and then he came back and said he's not retiring. Old Man Gonzalo, whether you retire or whether you don't retire, one thing we do know is you need to retire from Inter Miami CF and go play for another team next year if you still plan on being in the MLS. Because this team is playing much better without you. This team looks more spirited. This team is playing together. The guys are smiling. The guys are enjoying themselves playing soccer. And this is when the owner intervenes. This is when the owner has to step in. Because look, David Beckham, this is your team. This is not the Igarim brothers' team. This is David Beckham's team. The MLS did not go up to the Igarim brothers to say and ask them to lead the franchise. David Beckham, MLS went to you. You are the chosen one for the MLS, David Beckham. You are the one. So this is when you come in and say, this is not a head coaching decision. This is not a general management decision. This is not a player's decision. This is the boss's decision. You give Gonzalo two options. You either play coming off the bench or you retire middle of the season and go play for another MLS team. Two options, David Beckham, because this is your team. This is not about friendship. This is not about relationship. This is about business, because there is no reason why Miami should be in the bottom of any conference, whether they're in the Eastern Conference, whether in the Western Conference. When it comes to traditional football, Miami should never be at the bottom. Now, you may be the type of guy, David Beckham, where you don't want to be controlling. You don't want to be viewed as a dictator. David, when the team looks bad, you look bad because it's your team. And not only that, you're a global icon. So people throughout the world are looking at you as like, well, he's a good player, but he's a bad manager. You don't want that to be part of your legacy, David Beckham. You want to be known as a winner wherever you go, whatever you do, you want to be known as a winner. But as of right now, when it comes to management, David Beckham, you're looking like a loser. However, this past Saturday, your team showed us what the real issue is. Your team showed us what the problem is. Your team showed you what will happen if a certain person is not in the starting lineup. Now it's up to you, David Beckham, to man up and be the leader that the MLS wants you to be. And that's to make a firm decision on the future of Gonzalo. I know it's in the middle of the season, or not the middle of the season. I know it's early in the season, and I know he's dealing with an injury. But let me tell you something. Remember that year where the Kansas City Chiefs in the NFL had Alex Smith as the starting quarterback? I believe it was his final year as the starting quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs. And Alex Smith got injured. I believe it was either in the middle of the season or late in the season, but Alex Smith got injured. And then Patrick Mahomes took over. Ever since Patrick Mahomes became the starting quarterback, it didn't matter how healthy Alex Smith became. Patrick Mahomes was the guy that they stuck with. Miami, you're in that situation right now. Leonardo Campana or Gonzalo Higuaín. Leonardo Campana might be your Patrick Mahomes, Miami. Leonardo Campana might be your Colin Kaepernick. Because the Alex Smith situation also happened in San Francisco. At one point, Alex Smith was the quarterback in San Francisco when Jim Harbaugh was the head coach for the 49ers. Alex Smith got injured. Colin Kaepernick became starter. They kept Kaepernick as the starter. They didn't go back to Alex Smith even when he came back from injury. Colin Kaepernick ended up leading the 49ers to a Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes ended up leading the Chiefs to a Super Bowl. Leonardo Campana might be the one to lead you to an MLS Cup. We know one thing, Gonzalo is not going to lead you to a playoffs. We're not even talking about MLS Cup. Gonzalo's not even going to lead you to a playoffs. You already seen what Gonzalo can do. Now it's time to let the young guys take over. Now it's time to let the young guys who got more of a positive spirit to take over. This Miami team looks so different against New England. This Miami team looked like a playoff team. In just one game, they look like a playoff team. David Beckham, we all looking at you now. What decision are you going to make? Are you serious about turning Miami CF into a football town, a traditional football town, not a rugby style football town, but a traditional football town? Because the people in Miami are ready. The people in Miami are ready to be a traditional football town. They're just waiting on you, David Beckham. They want you to have the same desire that they have. That's why even though you've been performing poor, you still had fans at the game against New England rooting for your team because they are hungry. The fans want to be great. They want to be great like the city of Los Angeles. They want to be great like Seattle. They want to win a championship like New York City too. But how bad do you want it, David Beckham? Are you serious about business? Or are you just serious about keeping friendships? What matters more to you? David Beckham, let me tell you something. Atlanta United is not supposed to be the best team in the Southeast. Nashville is not supposed to be the best football team in the Southeast either. You are supposed to be Miami. Miami, let me tell you what you are, because I don't think you know who you really are. Miami, you're a sleeping giant. You are a sleeping giant in the MLS world. Why you're a sleeping giant, Miami? This is because the people, the city is ready to support you. The city is ready to do all they can do to make sure you're number one. The city wants you to be king of the South. Let me tell you something else, David Beckham. Atlanta's afraid of you. Let me tell you something about Atlanta fans. Atlanta sports fans generally pick on franchises that they deem is weaker than them. I give Charlotte FC, for example. Charlotte FC has not played one full season, and Atlanta fans already started picking on them, saying that our club is better than yours. Well, of course, Atlanta United, of course you are better than Charlotte FC. Charlotte FC hasn't even played a full season. So how the hell are they supposed to be better than you when this is their first year? This is their inaugural year. You see, Atlanta sports fans, they're like a bully. The bully picks on the ones that they consider weak, the ones who they believe won't fight back. Miami. Atlanta fans have never picked on Miami CF. Atlanta fans have never even said a word about the Miami football team. Why is that? Why is that so? This is because Atlanta fans know that Miami has the potential to not only dominate the Southeast, but to dominate the entire Eastern Conference. Atlanta United fans know that Miami is a sleeping giant, and all it takes is one good move. All it takes is one good player, and Miami is unstoppable. All it takes is good business decisions by you, David Beckham, and your front office, and you guys will be unstoppable. This is why Atlanta fans are picking on Charlotte, because they view Charlotte as the weaker football club. They do not want you to be great, because when you become great, Miami, they fall. Miami, you're the football town. You're the more diverse town. You got the Cubans, you got the Haitians, you got the Dominicans, you got the Mexicans, you got the Puerto Ricans. You got it all, Miami. You are the football capital of the Southeast. And now you have the opportunity to act like that. David Beckham, the whole MLS world, the whole soccer world, we're watching you now. Are you truly serious about business? Or are you just gonna try to salvage a friendship? You salvage that friendship, and your team will continue to be dead last in the MLS, and you'll continue to be a laughing stock around the world as a bad MLS owner, as a bad soccer management. But if you're serious about winning, if you're serious about championships, and if you're serious of turning Miami into the football capital of the Eastern Conference like it should be, you're going to keep Leonardo in that starting lineup the same way Jim Harbaugh kept Colin Kaepernick in that starting lineup, the same way that Andy Reid kept Patrick Mahomes in that starting lineup. You see, putting business over friendship leads to championships, David Beckham.